All right, guys, we are continuing with our SAT bootcamp in topics in advanced math. And we are moving on to example number 4. Let me move this over so we can see the whole question. Okay, there it is. Number 4. A car is traveling at X feet per second. And the driver sees a red light ahead, and after 1.5 seconds reaction time, the driver applies the brake. So he's taking 1.5 seconds of reaction time, or she. After the brake is applied, the car takes X over 24 seconds to stop. Go to my next color. During which time the average speed of the car is X over 2 feet per second. The average speed is X over 2 feet per second. And if the car travels 165 feet from the time the driver saw the red light to the time it comes to a complete stop, which of the following equations can be used to find the value of X? One more important piece of information. The car traveled 165 feet. Okay. And actually, this is where I'm going to start. To me, this is the most important thing. This is telling me what's going on in this word problem. The car is traveling 165 feet. That is the distance that it's going. So our distance is 165 feet. And when you think about distance, right, we're going to think that our distance is our speed here that our car is going. So if our speed is X over 2, distance equals speed. So it's not just the speed you go, but how long that you're going that speed, right? The time. And our time is X over 24 seconds. I know I'm back. I'm really working backwards here, aren't I? I'm looking at all of my colors, and I've taken care of the brown, the blue, the green. And now we also have that the driver had a 1.5 seconds of reaction time. So this is a little bit of extra time that we would add on to the end. You wouldn't want to multiply that times the speed and time. We're just going to add that on to the end. Plus 1.5 seconds of time, and our time is X. Now on SAT, we can work a little math magic, like I like to say, and plug in this formula we just made up. 165 equals X over 2 times X over 24 plus 1.5 X. So I've got this formula and I plugged it in. And if I look at my Desmos calculator, this squiggle here popped up for me. So this is telling me, hey, Mrs. Cameron, I'm your Desmos calculator talking to you, and I have made a graph for you. And when I look over in the graphing section, I don't see anything. So I'm going to zoom out, and then I'm going to see it. It's right here on the 60. So I'm going to take this and zoom in a little bit here on the 60, okay? Now I can find my match without having to multiply and rewrite it to look like the answer choices. I can just come right here and say x squared plus 48x minus 3,960 equals to 0. And that would be 43.35, but not 60, so it's not A. And I noticed in class today that this answer choice, right, it has a comma. They were putting a comma in here, and look what happens. It says, the calculator says, sorry, I don't understand that. I don't get it. You can't put a comma in on your calculator. Think about a normal calculator that you use, right? It never has a comma button. So when you're dealing with large numbers, you just omit the comma to put that on the calculator. And now my blue line, it still didn't make its way over here to the green line. So answer choice B is not the answer. So A was out, B was out. And now let's look at C and D. Both of them have a different number in the middle here. I'm going to change it to 72. And did you see that? My graph went right on top of the green line. My blue line moved to the 60, just like the green line above did, 72. So I know that this is my answer. And I was going to put in C, but I didn't change the back here. So the answer is actually D. And that is the correct answer to this question. Let's keep going to question number 5. It says, what are the solutions to the equation x squared minus 3 equals x? Again, we can use our graphing calculator. X squared minus 3 equals x. And the calculator is telling me I graphed that for you. And here it is. We've got two solutions, just like all of our answer choices are two solutions. So now I've just got to plug this in real quick. -1 plus the square root of 11. And I'll just go ahead. I'll make that my numerator over 2. And this 1.15 is not a match to either of my solutions. So I know that A is not the answer. Try B. B is not a match to either of my solutions. So I'm going to take out this negative. And ooh, that looks like a match. 2.303 and this 2.3027. This 7 tells this 2 to go up by 1 to a 3. So this is a match to my positive solution. And when I change this plus to a minus, this 1.30277 is a match to my negative solution. Negative 1.3027, negative 1.303. They just rounded it. So my answer is I have a positive 1 and I have a 13 inside my square root. So my answer is here, not this one. And I'm going to keep on going. 2 more questions for this video, and then we'll take another break. Question number 6 says, if x is greater than 0 and 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0, what is the value of x? And I would just type this in, 2x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. I've got 2 solutions. I've got a -2 and I have a positive 0.5. And my stipulation with this question said x must be greater than 0. So the correct answer here would be 0.5. And that is what you would type in on your SAT. You should be fine on SAT to put your answer as either a decimal or a fraction, and it would be marked correct either way because these things are equal to each other. And number 7 says, what is the sum of the solutions to 2x minus 1 squared equals x plus 2 squared? And again, just like the question before, we have two answers or two solutions. And my keyword here, sum, means to do what? Add. The solutions are the answers. So we just need to add up the two answers. And my first one here is negative 0.333 and positive 3. So plus 3. So I've just added my two solutions. And I can assume here that this negative 0.333 means negative a third plus 3, and it's giving me a little bit of a longer answer here. And then if I want my answer as a fraction to be completely accurate, it would be 8 over 3, just like you can see here on the SAT answer key, it says 8 over 3. But like I said on the last question, SAT will take a rounded decimal answer or a fraction. So either of these would be correct, and either of these you would have enough characters to type in on the input spot for your answer on the SAT. All right, guys, I will catch you back on the next topic of advanced